Hello again, Glitch Reaper here. Yeah, I needed to do another blog, and kind of good a reason to. Thing is, I gotta admit that my current job situation has me a little, uh, well, out of time and oomph for a lot of things. It's been satisfying work, but also very tiring, and it may not be just that the work is like that. I could. Oh wow, nice way to fling your ball there, Dolphin. You seem to have gotten into a way that I definitely need to toss it back to you. There you go. Okay. Anyhow, as I was saying, uh, I've been thinking that I probably have some kind of fatigue physician that I still haven't figured out exactly what it is yet, but eventually I might. And I gotta admit, having any kind of job when you have any kind of fatigue condition is innately incompatible. And that dolphin just flew right out there. Yep, okay. Way to show off your athleticism when I'm trying to announce the fact that even though I have some oomph, but just not enough to, just why not just have fun in the sea for a change? I'll just go ahead and watch you while I'm talking instead. That ought to be an interesting twist. Okay, I'll just track the dolphin in its attempt to do a solo sport. Okay. Anyhow, as I was saying, any job with any fatigue condition is an innate incompatibility when it comes to things in life. Uh, it can be very draining. Like, you can last through work and then wind up completely fatigued. And it's not the same as being tired in the regular sense. It's something a bit different. It certainly feels different. And it's a lot more, I wouldn't exactly say paralyzing, but kind of is. I mean, it's very uh, detrimental to your ability to do much afterwards. So it's one of those things that's just really tricky to work with, or in any sense. And yeah, I'm just gonna follow this dolphin while I'm watching. The ball's over there, dolphin. But yeah, the thing is that you'd be surprised how tricky that can make things happen. And the thing is that it's something that I've been considering having a big discussion on before, because it's something that I've dealt with in the past, but usually it wasn't quite to this degree of things kind of coinciding. And I gotta admit, there's something that I might not be looking back on quite the way that I thought they were. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm going, I know I had this kind of issue before, but I also, now that I'm thinking about it, probably didn't quite maintain the pace as much as what I'm trying to go for here. So, uh, it's become one of those things where I kind of gotta think that I kind of gotta just admit that I probably won't be able to handle both a full YouTube schedule and full work schedule at the same time. Yeah, but kind of like whenever I was doing solitary craft before, uh, it's something where I might be able to switch over to just doing a few things whenever I can and not worry about trying to maintain a schedule anymore. Because it's one of those things which it's kind of forcing me to do that because, again, I can't even really be up straight for very much after work sometimes because I'm so fatigued. So, yeah, it can be that detrimental where you just have to lay down. And it's a little hard to play Minecraft while you're horizontal. So, yeah, there's that. And of course other games too, because I do other games with my other channels. And it just comes down to the idea that, yeah, I'll probably just have to go with the fact that I will just kind of do things whenever I can and not worry about the exact schedule anymore. Because I probably won't be able to anyhow. But at the same time, just kind of admitting that to myself is actually kind of liberating in an odd way, going, this is just the way things gotta be, so don't worry about trying to force it. If you can't do anything about something, don't worry about it, because it's out of your control. So you're going, okay, whatever. It's like, I can just do what I can when I can. I don't have to worry about trying to force an issue anymore. That said, there's some things that I innately do like trying to do. Like, I'm still gonna be a big fan of doing mob battles and, of course, observing them. And yeah, sometimes I do spontaneously do one in the middle of another series just because I can get things to fight. It's just hilarious when I get that to happen. I've always enjoyed that. I think a lot of players kind of enjoy it, but making a kind of a bit of a science out of it or an art of it is a bit of a different story, and that's something that I like doing myself. And I've gotten really used to doing that, so even if it's not necessarily always going to be on Thursday anymore, I'm still probably going to do weekly mob battles and be able to maintain that because there's always going to be at least some gap in my schedule. Like, it's not going to be like every single day, so I'll have some moments where I can adjust. I might just go ahead and play volleyball with this dolphin. Hey, dolphin, can you send it back to me? Hey, buddy. Yeah, there you go. What? Can I catch it? Can I catch it? Waha, I caught it. Here we go. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just like things like that. It just come up, and you kind of have to kind of admit that that's just kind of how you gotta consider things. And there's also the thing that, there's some things I just enjoy doing, so when it comes down to it, what kind of keeps you going for those moments? So, doing mob battles is something I'm going to do. And yeah, I do like modded survival. And although I was doing Minecraft as we go, here's another thought about that. I've kind of experienced a lot of what Caves and Cliffs is going to be like for a long time. Because they're separating it out, there's going to be delays. So, in a way, that makes it a little tricky to do it at the pace that I wanted it to be. Because I wanted it to be this really cool thing where, going along with the way of them like doing different snapshots sequentially, there wouldn't be too many gaps in it. I was thinking there's going to be like new stuff at least monthly, but yeah, the way things have turned out, not going to happen as much. I mean, you may be aware of that situation, you may not be, but it's just something where, yeah, I can certainly say there's information in news channels that have covered that. And the whole thing is they're going to make it where they're not going to come out with the Warden for quite some time, because they want to be able to get the terrain right, they want to be able to get like the general generation right, they want to make Caves and Cliffs really epic. But at the same time, they don't want to rush it, especially whenever they have the general global situation slowing them down. And so they don't want to rush what they have going and run into trouble when they can instead do the quality job that they were intending to do, because they want to treat Caves and Cliffs kind of like a sacred update. Like, they want to do it in a way that will make as many people happy as possible, and there's been a huge chunk of the Minecraft community that have been wanting a Caves and Cliffs update for quite some time. And so that's made it where they want to do it big and they want to do it right. Like, they wanted to do it like grand update that people were really hoping for. And at the same time, it's not exactly perfect for them either to do this situation. So they've had to do things like splitting it up. Like, archaeology has been not exactly indefinitely postponed, but postponed to the point where it will probably be in like 2022 instead of 2021. Yeah, that's gonna be huge. And while I'm not entirely sure if the Warden's gonna be in entirely that situation, I do know it's been postponed because they want to be able to get like the terrain gen into the full game, at the same time getting like especially the Deep Dark and the Skulk and the Warden all out in one humongous shot. Because the Skulk of the Deep Dark and the Warden are supposed to be an integrated system, some of which the player will be able to mimic, and some of which maybe not. But that does also give us some opportunities. And that's something that I might even try to get involved with, is ways of suggesting some things to go with as we go along with this, because it's going to be such a long update. Like, say, suggesting some additional things to come out of the archaeology system. Maybe suggesting uh, what kind of prize to have for defeating the warden. Something that won't be like necessary for the game's progression, but something kind of cool to have, whether it just be just in a trophy sense or something actually useful, but just not in a way that's like, uh, like an absolute must-have, but just like a cool thing. Like, what if you had a helmet that made you act like the warden and that you could sense vibrations? That would be awesome. Of course, archaeology, I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we had uh, maybe an item that let you guarantee uh, a particular enchantment on the enchantment table whenever you had an appropriate item. And I thought that would be kind of a cool idea too, of other ways of controlling enchantment. Like special relics that if you just had them nearby, they'd be able to do so. And we kind of got an idea what that might be like already because of the idea of the ceramic pots. And I think if you had them in a very particular way, wouldn't it be cool if you had it where if you have an exact order of them, then... Oh, I got on the back catch. Sweet. But yeah, if you had an exact order, you could say, well, this also corresponds with having this enchantment. That's something that I might get into suggesting more about at some point. But for right now, we'll see. I mean, again, it's going to be like a long update. And I really wanted to do a lot of mob battles with the Warden because it was said to be a very aggressive mob that will fight anything that happens to intrude into its domain that creates a vibration, which is pretty much any mob in the book except possibly another Warden. So that would be awesome for mob battles. Like, you have something that just stomps the ground around, thinking like it owns the place, and then the Warden shows up. So it's like, yeah, everybody think they're the king until the Warden shows up. That'd be just kind of funny Minecraft meme there. But it's going to be a long time coming because of how things are going to work out. So we kind of got to keep that in mind. And that's kind of got me to think, well, maybe I should kind of wait on the series a bit because it seems to naturally be saying, nope, this isn't quite the time for the otherwise cool idea of going along with the snapshots. And of course, that thing about the terrain gen being out in terms of a world until like they have it farther along, and then will allow like previous worlds to have the new terrain gen of a whole lot of types. That's kind of a big letdown too, and it could be a long time before they get that fully ready. So there's also that. And my dolphins seem to have finally gotten tired of playing ball with me. Oh, wait, there's one. A dolphin? There you go. But, yeah, there's other things that I'm still going to do anyhow. Like, I'm still going to do mob battles, as I was saying before. And my new kitchen sink style mod pack, I could see doing for quite some time, like what I did with Solitary Craft. So, I'm probably going to be able to do that, where even if that's like my one primary survival series for a while, I think that would be okay. Especially if they maybe possibly felt like being able to do more than one in a week sometimes. Even with my condition or whatever it is in the way, it might still be possible. Especially when not every week is going to be like full bore for me. So there's also that thought. So, I mean, it's going to be a bit chaotic. And I can certainly say the indefinite interference is going to be something that happens. At the same time, I think there's still a bit of coolness that can result here because although I was thinking originally of doing some series for particular reasons, various events kind of got in the way. One of which just being that CurseForge decided to just not know how to register my Minecraft anymore. For some weird reason. I don't know how many people have had that issue. I don't know if they have found good solutions to that issue. But I know that it has come up for me. And I have some possible thoughts. Oh, needing to readjust my thing again. I have some possible thoughts for ways of getting around that, but none of which are going to be easy, at least in terms of, well, a lot of things, actually. But I think they might at least be possible, but they would take a lot of setup, so I don't know if I'd be able to recover my previous Curse Forge series at some point. And I'm not entirely sure I really need to keep doing Atomic Resurgence, actually, even though it was a big idea that I had. At the same time, there's a lot of magical stuff in Shadows of Thaumaturgy. Keep it going for quite some time. And maybe at some point, Thaumcraft will resurge whenever the guy who's taken over gets it ready enough for 1.16.x. And there's also a good possibility that a lot of the mods I'm specifically doing for 1.16.4 at this time will eventually get to 1.16.5 where they can all just hang out together. That would be awesome. And whenever that happens, it would be also pretty cool if 1.16.5 turns out to be one of the versions that the new version of Thaumcraft actually comes out to. So maybe it, instead of trying to go back to Thaumcraft per se, well, directly, yeah. Maybe instead of trying to go back to it, maybe it'll come up to me, because that could totally happen. So, and a lot of the best parts of Thaumic Resurgence 2 are already in Shadows of Thaumaturgy, surprisingly enough. So, yeah, I mean, a good portion, yeah. And there's some other things that I might be able to integrate later, which would also be cool, depending on various situations. Like, there's a lot of the mods that are updating now, and some of them are getting farther and farther along, or at least closer to being in the right version. So, there's that. And some I know will definitely come to it later, just not necessarily knowing exactly when. But I'm still definitely feeling Shadows of Thaumaturgy as a big kitchen sink style one that I could probably play for quite some time. It's been a while since I had that real feel for a mod pack that says, I can just keep doing this until I've done like so much stuff in it that it has just been utterly ridiculous, and I have just purely had so much fun at it that I can say, you know, I feel good. And of course, there's also the possibilities of indefinites. Like, as they've been trying to make the code more stable for modders, there's also a possibility of easier upgrades for mods in general, and a point where you can maintain a pack and just wait for, like, and you'd be waiting more on the Minecraft version than the mods for a change. That would be cool. As someone who's observed the interaction between modded community and vanilla community for quite some time, I can certainly say it would be an awesome change if we're only waiting on vanilla to update instead. And that's kind of where they want to go with it. So, will there be a time where I could theoretically do an indefinite or insanely long-lasting pack? Yeah, that's actually something that looks like it may come up eventually over time, is the idea of a continuous, modded pack style. How close are we to that? No idea. But it is certainly an idea that will definitely come true in the future. I just don't know how long. Because, again, this has been a long-term project for Mojang, is trying to get the code that kind of stable where they're mainly just adding features and not, like, doing massive rewrites. That said, there's definitely going to be massive rewrite involved in the cave update. Or caves and cliffs overall. Although, again, it's more heavy about the caves. But, I don't know. With the cliffs, I mean, the world has gone both up and down, so that really is both. But they are doing some coding overhauls that might be pretty close to the final one of saying, okay, we could pretty much just do everything we want from now on without worrying about a massive rewrite, or at least for quite some time. Like, they want to at least be progressively farther and farther between huge rewrites, at the very least. And that's something that I really kind of enjoy the idea of, is that eventually mods will just fluidly transition from one version of Minecraft to the other. So, yeah, I'm definitely hoping for that point. But again, that said, I do have some things I'm working on for now, and we'll be sticking with. And Shadows of Thaumaturgy and my mob battles is definitely going to be a big thing about that. With my alternate channels, I might do them maybe a little more chaotically than I was originally thinking. but the same principle kind of applies, except I kind of have a more set style with those channels as to what I do, like doing Magic the Gathering is a big thing that is just kind of something you can just kind of do miscellaneously in in a big sense, and you don't have to worry too much about having the kinds of goals that you do in Minecraft. So it's just a big difference, you know? And of course the same also applies otherwise. But it's just one of those things where I'm going, maybe I could just go as I go and see how things turn out. But you kind of get the point there. And the whole thing about the big delay and stuff kind of forced the issue on top of other things happening where I had to think, yeah, it's time to reintegrate that thought. I mean, come on. He had a fishing rod. I had to see if I could I had to see if I could plink it from him. So yeah, I mean that was like a given. I mean I had to go for it. And I was starting to lose track of the dolphin. But anyhow, the point being that things may be different. I might not be at the same pacing that I was hoping for. But at the same time, I think I'm happy with how things are going to turn out in the future. And in similar news, I've kind of got a stun or two that I'd like to try. Now, the interesting thing, and I'm going to have to admit this is a very different kind of idea with even just calling it a stunt, is I may do it without announcing exactly when, or exactly what I'm trying to do. I just want to see if anybody notices what the big point is. Because it's not going to be in quite the standard sense. So, it's going to be kind of a big deal, and I'm curious if anybody realizes what the big deal actually is. And wow, me playing volleyball with a part of the sea with those dolphins really went on for quite some distance. Oh, wow. We kind of kept going there. And I was having fun with the dolphins while blogging there, so yeah, I can see it going this far till I finally lost track of the dolphin and it just disappeared into the sea. So I'm like, okay, I will go ahead and take this ball because I can't see you anymore. And then we dropped off here. So, oh, wow, I am going to have to find my base, well, not really base, but just my special point somehow, because it's a little hard to not do the parrot party with the parrots that have hung out with me for so long. You know, I mean, these are some nice. Uh, I mean, they are the original party parrots that I started with, so I kind of got to. But you know, I mean, it's just something you kind of got to do is go with the party parrots. I mean, I got a beacon firing off there. It's got to be able to show me the way. Could I possibly have gone so much farther from the point that I can't even see the beacon pin? I mean, I know I chased the dolphins for quite some time, but that would be ridiculous if I really went that far. Well, I guess I just got that distracted with hanging out with dolphins that I just went for it and possibly went over the horizon. Didn't see that one happening, but okay. That's you got me there. Wow, that could be interesting finding where I was. And again, that was a buried treasure map. Okay, that's my main map. So let's see, where am I from here? Okay, where's my point? I'm so far off the map, I'm not even seeing my dot. That's how insane this really is. Okay. Well, I found an interesting way of getting lost. Just follow a dolphin and play ball with them in the ocean long enough, and you're bound to totally not know where you are. I mean, there's some more dolphins, but they're definitely not the ones I was with. Because okay, that happened. Okay, note to self: go back to the contained ball that I was using before, because otherwise I might not find my happy little seaside home again, where I was able to hang out with my party parrots, because I might just get totally lost. Okay. Yeah. So, hmm. Anyhow, well, you kind of get the idea there that I'll just kind of do as I do and go as I can and see how things just kind of work out. And that kind of applies to a lesser degree to my other channels, but because of how much Minecraft I've been doing over time, it definitely applies more so to my main Minecraft channel, which is my main channel overall, is Glitch Reaper. So yeah, of course, even then, I mean, I've done other things on it, and probably will do once in a while, but it's not quite the same. I mean, let's face it, Minecraft changed my idea of how I liked to game. So, and you put in mods with that, and it's like, yeah, let's just go with this and just keep on going. So that just happened naturally on its own. I didn't I didn't really like force the issue or anything. Minecraft just came to me and kept going. So it's just what happened. But yeah, you kind of get the point with me trying to stick with just going with how Minecraft makes me happy to do some things, and just doing them whenever I've got the ability to do so. So I'll keep carrying on regardless. It just might not be quite the same anymore, and I probably won't be able to do things every day of the week like I was hoping to for a while. But you can't always foresee these things happening. I mean, when it comes to getting a job like what I've got now, on the one hand, you've got more money to actually do things with and enjoy, even if you have less time or ability to actually do so. But at least it's there when you need it. Uh, and of course, vice versa. If you don't have much work to do, you have more time to enjoy yourself, but not necessarily the money to really throw at it. So you got benefits and deficits in every which way. So you know, there's no perfect system. I've said that about a lot of things overall, but when it comes to that in general, yeah, that's just the way things are. And maybe at some point I'll figure out what my whole fatigue condition is. And as for what little stunt I'm thinking of pulling, well, that little tease I could certainly say. It's definitely going to be up to my viewers to figure out what I'm doing and why it's such a big deal. Some longtime viewers might be able to figure it out a bit better, but I'd say that a lot of people in general would have a pretty good shot at figuring it out, even if they're new. So, in fact, actually, because of some of the things I've done recently, I could say that there might be some new players in that might actually even have as good, if not better, of a chance of figuring it out, even than some of my longtime viewers, because you may notice a few pattern changes, but at the same time, there's just certain things that might just kind of draw some new viewers in, and then they're going, I see what's going on there. So they might get it, but you never know. I mean, will it be a long-term viewer or a new viewer who figures out what's going on? I'm actually very curious to see who gets it first. I really am. I really am. But until that big moment happens, we'll just see. But will I be able to integrate that with my kind of new way of doing things? Yes, yes. I mean, it's just going to be something that I'm just going to have to figure just a few minor things about, and I'd be able to integrate it in fairly well. So I don't think that's going to be a big deal. So that said, I'm probably going to just kind of log off here. It's weird that I don't get to do the parrot party because I partied too hardy with the dolphin instead. So now I'm paying the price of hanging out a bit too much with our some of our fine flippered friends. So yeah. Oh well. Well, at least someone got to party, and it was basically volleyball. So yeah, that worked out in its own special way, anyhow. So I'll be logging off for now. Hope to hear from y'all later at some point. And bye for now, everybody. Okay, parrot party relocated. Well, actually, just found. But maybe this will also give off another. Sorry, still getting used to new equipment, so may have to readjust things. But maybe this will also give off a clue as to a new happy point in my life. But yeah. Okay, now I can certainly say, join the parrot party. Yeah, parrot party is back.